Storm Michael leftward inconceivable destroying as it plowed in coast areas of Florida, the country's governor, Haystack Scott says. So lot lives include been modified ever, he told. So lot families include lose all. The lowest hit areas of Florida's North Shore saw houses torn of their foundations, trees felled, and force channel studded through gateway. Storm Michael affected on environment in winds of 155 mph to 50 km/h. It weak to a tempest as it excited internal to the polar east, but at low 6 human beings include dead, largest of them in Florida. More than rather than 370,000 human beings in Florida were orderly to evacuation, but officials trust lot neglected the precautionary. Governor Scott told the U.S. Shore Guardsmen transferred out 10 missions night, save at low 27 human beings. Michael plowed in Florida's Panhandle shore, closed the city of Mexico bathing beach at 14 o'clock, 18 o'clock GMT, on environment, one of the powerful storms to always hit the U.S. continent. Ranged 4 persons on the 5-step Saffir-Simpson scope and in a tempest splash of 9 ft, it raised homes of their foundations and hard corrupt other in districts nearest to the sea in Mexico bathing beach, CNN chopper length showed. 20 survivors were found in the city night, AP accountable, but 285 had rejected to obedience warnings to evacuation. Chief of the Fed Disaster Control Agent, Brock Length, named Mexico bathing beach land null due to the harm. Trees were lowered in Panama Town, north of Mexico bathing beach, buildings squashed, boats and electric cables dispersed. Apalachicola, in 2,300 residents, was as well ill-struck. The mayoress accountability how lowered cables were manufacturing it hard to get via the city. Wreckage and floodwater are as well manufacturing several of the lowest hit areas hard to achieve. Governor Scott forced residents not to beg before the authorities do certainly things are secure, taking into account the risk of force channel and some wreckage. One of the at first things you note as you go in Mexico bathing beach is the immobility. No breeze, nearly not one on the road, fair the beaten hot sun and the wreckage anywhere, thrown and dispersed, the inviting map of a ugly tempest. And later you listen weak bleeping sounds upcoming of all directions, a discordant concordance of top-pitched notes how rotate out to be multitude little alarm, yet transmission their warnings of the batteries that force them. On the leftward, as we go, down there's a mat slumped at the curb, on the order a Deccan Kuntz Roman put in the mud. Collecting our way via a massive of cobble and detritus how was one day a building, we place an US banner on the land, in among it all down there is as well a toy car and a cracked window platter of a microwaves. A slight future on, and a female, followed by a boyfriend, is screening via the remnant of her household, shipping which she can save in the shoe of a vehicle. The was her vision resignation location she tells me, the recent 4 persons year consumable making it up. I'll never move behind in down there, she says via her burst into tears. The steep strength of Storm Michael has been so analyzed, but he's just while you see the daily material of human beings as lives crushed to trimming, how you understand they will be residing in the length following we include lost. 6 deaths include been affirmed, 4 persons in Florida, 1 in Georgia and 1 in Polar Carolina. Florida officials say 1 man dead while he was crushed in an occurrence comprising a wood in Gadsden Shire. In Seminole Shire, Georgia, a metal vehicle shelter raised by a impulse of breeze hit a portable household, murder a lady of 11. Travis Brooks, CEO of Seminole Shire's disaster control agent, said ABC News story down there was full desolation. Michael over according to reports annihilated at low 13 human beings as it gone via Central America, 6 in Honduras, 4 persons in Nicaragua and 3 in El Salvador. Winds include knocked together outforce to more than rather than 900,000 homes and business community through Florida, Alabama, the Carolinas and Georgia. About 6,000 are mined to include desired shelter informal shelters, mostly in Florida. In diminished winds of 50 mph, on to the Domestic Storm Center, NHC, Michael has excited polar east cross Georgia and is now earning hard rainfall to polar Carolina and Virginia. The NHC alerted how communities in polar West Florida and polar Carolina florid the risk of lifetime-threatening flood as growing water supply excited internal of the shore. State of disaster include been proclaimed in all or components of Florida, Alabama, Georgia, and polar Carolina. A manual to the planet's deadliest storms. Hurricanes are forcible storms how can give desolation to coast areas, menacing lives, homes, and business community. Hurricanes evolve of thunderstorms, spurred by hot, wet air as they crucifix submarine tropical water. Hot air rises in the tempest. Air swirls in to fill in the low blood pressure in the tempest, suckling air in and above, strengthening the low blood pressure. The tempest rotates due to the rotation of the land and power of the hot sea increases breeze speeds as it based. While winds achieve 119 km/h, 74 mph, it is named as a storm, in the Atlantic and East Silent, or a typhoon in the West Silent. All has a schedule before they get perforated in the person. So, we're on to get perforated in the person. Florida Mayoress Bob Antler, front of Storm Irma, 2017, the center eye of calmer weather is enclosed by a side of rainstorms. This eye wall has the fastest winds under it and forcible currents of air growing via it. A embankment of water supply driven piles up under the eye that is initiated as the tempest reaches Earth. These tempest surges can reason more than harm of flood rather than the winds. Immediate precautionary on the fast growth of water supply on the SW Florida shore in the passageway of number Irma's site. Go off of the water supply. Tweet of the Domestic Storm Center. The amount of hurricanes is mostly measurable by the Saffir-Simpson scope. Some Libra are utilized in Asia Silent and Australia. Winds 119-153 km/h. Some insignificant flood, slight structure harm. Tempest splash plus winds 154-177 km/h. Roofs and trees could be corrupt. Tempest splash plus winds 178-208 km/h. Houses afflict harm, harsh flood. Tempest splash plus storm sand, 2012, inflicted $71 bn harm in the Caribbean and New York. Winds 209-51 km/h. Some roofs ruined and main structure harm to houses. Tempest splash plus storm Ike, 2008, hit Caribbean islands and Louisiana and was accused for at low 195 deaths. Winds to 52 km/h plus. Serious harm to buildings, harsh flood. Future internal. Tempest splash plus storm Irma, 2017, inflicted desolation in Caribbean islands, outgoing thousands. Homelessness to everyone thought they can trip the tempest of. I include news story for thou, how will be one of the largest mistakes you can do in your lifetime. Mayoress of New Orleans Ray Nagin front of Storm Gustav, 2008 clicking pointer to begin shipping. Bounce to advance.